welcome back to the channel, everybody. I've got a great guest today, Michael Bull. Michael owns his own real estate company in Atlanta, and he's been in business for 35 years. And today we're going to be talking about agent strategies. He's got some great ideas, and he has a website you're going to want to check out called Commercial Agent Success. So, and I will be putting the link down below. So thank you for watching. Make sure you give us a like while you're here. And if you're new to the channel, my name is Joe Killinger. I've been a real estate entrepreneur for over 20 years, and I use this channel to bring people like Michael on to bring you value. I try and find ways to help you be successful in our real estate industry. So make sure you check out the video. Again, give us a like, and if you haven't done so, make sure you subscribe, and I'll see you again next week. Well, Michael, thank you for coming back on the show. Your Commercial Agent Success, I think, what a great platform for somebody really wanting to learn the business. And so I wanted you to come on today, talk about it, and really tell us what you're telling your agents and other agents that are logged on your site. How do I find success in this market? So let's hear, what's your number one tip we got?
Number one tip.
How am I going to make millions in my first month in real estate, commercial real estate?
Good luck to you, right?
Yeah.
I think one of the secrets I think I see to the most successful is training a lot, right? And you think about all the skills that we need in our business, analysis and underwriting and marketing and sales and negotiation and psychology, right? And we haven't even talked about the actual services of real estate yet, right? So it's there's a lot to learn. So I think training is a big thing. And then we see a lot of success with brokers who are very focused either in a sector or a service, and they become really good experts at that sector or service. And we see folks have a lot of success with that. And then just consistent prospecting, right, is a big one. And then another one is just working on your business as well as working in it, and planning your business and day to day, week to week, year to year can be very helpful.
Yeah, it's the working on your business is something that I think, and working in your business, two completely different aspects of the industry. And can you kind of touch on that, please?
Yeah, like I'll give you an example. Like I've been a broker for 35 years, and I've had my company for 25 years. We celebrate January 1 being 25 years old here at Bull Realty. But what I did every year as an agent was I looked at the year behind me and looked at everything that worked, everything that didn't work, all the marketing, everything I did, price per property, how long it was on the market, what did I do both sides of the trend. I mean, I looked at every detail, and then I would adjust every year my business and grow my business, and it worked for me every year. It grew except one, which was a recession, and it stayed the same. So I was able to make the same money as I did not in a recession, which was great. So I think just working on your business is a lot. And if you read the E-Myth or E-Myth Revisited, Michael Gerber, he talks a lot about that. And I think it's a wonderful thing, because we get caught up doing it, right? We're doing what we do, and then we don't kind of sit down and work on it. And that's something that is just very helpful to take the time and do that.
Yeah. Yeah. We had a young agent. He's new, only been with the company for not even a month. And he got his first escrow. And, maybe it's luck, maybe he knew exactly what he's doing, I don't know, but he's got his first escrow. This doesn't happen, as you know, in this industry very often, but he came from residential. So he had some connections before, he had some sales ability. But, all of a sudden he's kind of getting a little lax on the business development because he's so focused on that one escrow. And so I'd have a sit down with him this morning saying, hey, you've got inspections to go. You got a long way to go. You need to focus, keep working on your business every day. Don't forget about it, and I tell them, 90% of your day right now, when you're that new, you better be doing business development.
Yeah, that's true. And learn how to do it right? Train right. And I see, a lot of folks that kind of jump in our business and they think because they got a license, oh, I'm ready to go. And it's like, no, you're far from it. If you're going to compete in such a dynamic business with unlimited income potential, and I give them the analogy to help them understand it, is you're starting your own business. It's a business you've never been in before. You're competing with people and companies who are really good at what they do, and they have a huge head start on you. So you want to do it right. You want to plan it right. You want to get all the right training and know how to prospect and know how to create your presence and so that you don't get out there and do it wrong and really get turned off by the business.
Yeah. Because it is tough. I mean, you get somebody that's been in the business 5, 10, 15, or 20 years. How do you beat them? You have to outwork them, right? And I think and I know I saw you at the Commercial Real Estate Influencer Summit, so you're a big believer as well. These social networks are a great way to draw in other business.
Yeah, and consistently learning, and it impressed me to see the likes of Ken Ashley and folks like that are sitting there at their point in their career that they've done so well, and they're still learning. And
Yeah.
that's why they've done well, right? And you were there. It's like,
Yeah.
we're learning all the time, and that's what makes us better at what we do.
Yeah, if somebody asked me what's the average age of the Commercial Real Estate Influencer Summit, and I had to step back and having that, and I was like, you know what? It's a lot older than I would have first expected. So
Mhm.
it's a lot of people that are already established that are heading in that direction. They see the value of it.
Yeah. And I got interested in the social networks and things early on because the way I look at our brokerage business is it's half consulting and advisory, and then the other half is marketing, right? We're
Yeah.
marketing ourselves and we're marketing our properties and listings. So I kind of got into it early on. I remember my guys at my shop laughing at me. And I'm getting on Twitter and LinkedIn, and they're like, "What are you doing? You're laughing at me and wasting time."
Mhm.
But it's very interesting to me because it is marketing, and that is half really what we do in my mind.
Oh, it is. I had a conversation with an agent yesterday, and he goes, I just don't believe in it. He goes, I just don't see how it can be effective. And I said, well, let me ask you something. How many cold calls a day do you make? And it's a big number. And I said, and he wasn't looking at his analytics either. And I think that's something we should touch on too, is analyzing everything that we're doing. But I said to him, I said, if you're doing your marketing and you're doing it right, you should be getting inbound leads. And I said, would you agree that an inbound lead, somebody calling you, is a lot better than you sitting there
Mhm.
calling out and trying to get an appointment? And that kind of, the light bulb clicked on then, right? Like, oh yeah, yeah, that would be a lot better. So it does work. I think you've got 100 and how many of us were there? 120 agents from around the country see what's coming. And so if other people have it, which I guess for you and I being in the business is okay because we can get more business, but I think we're all out there trying to pitch so we can all, build a better industry, right? So, but I do want to touch on analytics. How often do you look at your analytics on? And I kind of doubt you're cold calling anymore, Michael. But what do you tell your newer agents? How often do you sit down with them and say, "Hey, how many cold calls a day are you making? And how many people are you reaching? Let's hear your pitch." Do you sit down and do that still, or have somebody for you that does that with your newer people?
Yeah, we definitely do it. In fact, we created a calculator, if you will, a spreadsheet that is kind of an activities calculator. So and it's available. People can download it at commercialagentsuccess.com. And it starts off, well, how much money do you want to net this year, in the next year? And then what's the average commission that you get or that your company gets? And then how long does it take something to typically close in your sector? How many deals that go under LOI or PSA actually close? How many offers and does it usually take to get something under contract? And then it ends up in that first section with a magic number. And the magic number is how many deals you need to have under contract or in escrow at all times to actually hit your income goal. And so then we tell them, look, then you scroll down, you see how many calls you need to make and how many listings. And then if you can see, it's kind of like your dashboard in your car. You can see, well, if you need 3 deals under contract or escrow at all times and you have 1 or 2, well, you need to hit the gas a little bit, right?
Hmm.
Or if you've got 3, or let's say you've got 1 or 2 and you're not going to hit the gas, well, then lower your income expectations because you're not making the number of calls.
Yeah, if you don't want
Uh,
to work as hard, then
yeah, yeah, and we have we tell them, look, if you can bring in 200,000 in gross commissions, we'll let you stay here if you're professional and do a good job. But if you want to make less than that, you need to go do that somewhere else.
right.
So
Yeah. I know it's everybody's like, wow, that's harsh, but it's true. I mean, I
Yeah.
think a lot of people don't understand what it costs as a commercial brokerage company owner to have an agent that's there not really producing big enough numbers.
Yeah.
And, it's pretty substantial. Just CoStar alone, your lease, I know people are gonna say, oh, but if you're working from home, they're still expensive. You want to do marketing, the list goes on.
Yeah.
And so the brokerage does have overhead that they've got to look at.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think it helps people kind of keep themselves on track too. And I think the most successful agents are very accountable, and they can hold themselves accountable, and it makes them successful. And some of us need help with that. And I think a lot of people actually will pay a coach that really been in the business a long time. They know what they're doing. What are they really paying for? Someone to hold them accountable.
Yeah,
I
that's
want to make
exactly.
25 calls a day. I want to enter them all in my CRM with fields, and I'm going to report to you. And if I report a lower number, then I'll be in trouble with myself.
Yeah, and that's really it. They're just going to look at your analytics for you and say, okay, you need to pick this up, when you could do it yourself and not be paying them. And instead of paying them, maybe get a junior to take up some of the stuff you don't want to do off your plate.
Yeah,
It can be it's we're entrepreneurs in the end,
yeah,
and we do. Self accountability is sitting down every day. You need to look at your, how many calls did I make? What kind of numbers did I generate today? What was my productivity like?
yeah.
And our agents around here hate it when I come up and say, okay, how's your productivity today?
Mhm.
And that's in the beginning. Now they look at it and they know it. And they're going on their social networks. They're looking like, oh, that post didn't work. Or they're going on Instagram and seeing what did work and then copying something similar to that. They're just finding ways to be the most efficient that they can be.
Yeah. And when you look at prospecting, business development, I think the most efficient one is the phone call, right? In person's going to work better. There's all you want to have multiple ways that you prospect for business, but the phone call is really the most efficient, and so that's what they really want to be good at, right? And
Yeah.
saying the right things and calling the right people and adding value for the people you're calling.
Well, that's the thing, is the adding value. That's when you're cold calling or any marketing you're doing, you need to bring value. Otherwise, there's thousands of agents on all these social networks. There's thousands of agents doing cold calls every day. If you're not bringing value, you're really wasting your time.
Yeah, and on the accountability side, I created what I call the ultimate team agreement. If you have team members, and it's available at commercialagentsuccess.com. And part of it is a weekly accountability and an agreement up front of, hey, this is how much I expect to work. This is how many calls I expect. Here's going to do what on the team. And so there's an agreement to do that. And I think the right team members can be very effective. But the wrong team setup or not having an agreement can cause a lot of problems.
Yeah, I agree. Michael, I know we're getting a little long in the tooth here, but if I'm new to the industry, how do I go out and find the brokerage that I want to be with that is best for me? What do you tell people?
I think there's advantages to kind of all three size groups, if you will, from the national, international companies to the regional kind of mid-size, which I guess I would call us that at Bull Realty. And then some of the smaller companies, you can have real advantages to any of them. And I think you want to kind of figure out, well, what I want to be doing in 5 or 10 years. Who do I want to be? What I want to be doing? What service do I want to be in? And in commercial real estate, and what sector? And then interview at those companies and see how you feel. What are they going to push you down to an analyst and hold you down there for a few years? And is that not what you want, or is that what you want? Right?
Yeah.
Or do you want to be at a company that'll let you lead your own team immediately and hire two salaried people to help do business generation and transaction management? And maybe you hire an analyst as well, or underwriter. So you're just selling all the time if you're an experienced salesperson. So I think you want to just interview and then see what really, really fits you. Some of the cultures too can be very different. They can be very adversarial and competitive, some of them, and some people like that. And some can have a lot more culture and a lot more helpful employees and agents. So I think that's part. I think you want to enjoy where you work and see
Sure.
what kind of culture and environment you like.
Yeah. Yeah. And finding a company that has good training if you're new, that's a key.
Yeah,
And it's the training is we get a lot of people reaching out on the YouTube channel just saying, hey, my company, and they're usually bigger companies that they just, I'm just cold calling for my senior. I need more training. Can you help me with that? So find a company that has training. Um,
absolutely. And if you don't and you stay there, then you need to find it on your own. Go
yeah,
find it. I tell people, look, if you do two things, go to ccim.com and take 4 core classes, and go to commercialagentsuccess.com and watch those 21 videos over and over and over and over and over. And at least you'll have a base with those two things done.
yeah. And I'm going to put the link to your site down below on this. So for commercial agent success, but
And the other thing I
Michael, is
tell
it, go ahead.
one other thing I also tell them is study sales like crazy. Just okay, go get the top 10 sales books throughout history, not real estate, not investing in real estate, not the books in the last year, throughout history, and read those books and listen to them however you take them in, and do it over and over and over. So it becomes innate, becomes we're not selling door to door, vacuum cleaners, okay? But we're dealing with people who are very busy and
Yep.
very successful, and we got to get and keep their attention to help them make good decisions. So I think studying sales is also just a great way for agents to be more successful.
I agree. With the economy slowing in around the country, do you think it's a good time to become a commercial real estate agent?
That's funny you asked that, because we do business development meetings Tuesday mornings here
Yeah.
at my shop, and this morning I mentioned to them that, look, I think one of the best things that ever happened in my brokerage career was a severe downturn, because I was one of those agents, 3 or 4 years in the business, so I of course knew everything, and I was doing pretty good without
Yeah.
a really strong work ethic. And when a recession hit and things started dropping like flies and deals cratering, I really got a good work ethic, a plan, a business plan, and I became a very good agent. And then that helped me throughout the rest of my career. So I think agents that start in a market that is tougher, they learn how to do this better and faster, and create better habits.
Yeah, I agree. I just think as long as are doing the fundamentals, and a lot of people over the last 11, 12 years got away from doing fundamentals because wasn't that difficult to make money, right?
Mhm.
Well, I think as Warren Buffett said, when the tide goes out, we're going to see who has shorts on, right? Well, we're there, and then tide's starting to slowly go out. Nothing dramatic, but you got to be doing the fundamentals no matter what the market. And I think it's if you haven't, you better get started.
Yeah, you better, and keep training. Like, some of the training I've done in recent years includes I took classes on hosting television shows. I've taken classes on public speaking. I've taken classes on doing stand-up comedy. It's just continually training, and that's part of the success.
Yeah, I agree, and it never stops, right? You're an entrepreneur, so you got to create your own destiny. You've got the
Yeah,
opportunity here. And it's a great business, and we got to remember that what the average age of a commercial real estate agent is, what, 52, 55 years old.
probably.
Yeah, there's a lot of opportunity for the younger generation to get in here and really, really take over. So, well, Michael, thank you very much for coming on today. I am going to put the link to Commercial Agent Success down below. Tell us a little bit about your podcast as well, please.
Yeah, so America's Commercial Real Estate Show used to be on 60 radio stations, and it's been on air every week for 12 years. We did the first one as a podcast even 12 years ago, and we started videoing probably 6 years ago. So there's a new show every week. I just did a show with Brian Bailey with the Fed. He's their real estate subject matter expert, is what he's called, which was interesting to get his view, especially on office. And then just did a show with the real estate lead at Deloitte about their annual report and forecast, which was interesting. So it's free, it's accessible, it's on your phone. It's the website creshow.com, or just look it up as Commercial Real Estate Show on your podcast apps.
I'll put the link down below as well.
Good.
Yeah, I'll put them both down there. And just a little trivia: how many years have you not missed a show?
12 years.
12 years without missing one show.
Never missed
Incredible.
a show. My sister one time said, well, what do you do if you're sick? And I'm like, you know, I'm glad you said that because I haven't been sick in 12 years, except I had COVID once.
You just worked from home and shot her from there, huh?
Yeah, there you go.
All right.
Thanks.
Well, Mike, thank you very much for coming on today. Appreciate it. Love hearing your insight. I know that you've had such big success there in Atlanta. And anybody looking to do a deal in Atlanta, commercial real estate deal in Atlanta, reach out to Michael. His contact will be down below. Michael, thank you very much.
Thank you, Joe.
And for those of you watching, make sure you give us a like. And if you haven't done so, make sure you subscribe.